thing I love about some of these videos is the MAGA people that are making these apology videos for voting for this administration. This one is funny. It's quick. She's like, I just won't say I'm sorry. I have to vote for him.
I need to say I'm sorry. I voted for him.
I'm real sorry. I didn't know. I thought he was going to make things better for us.
I thought he was going to help folks like me. I really did.
Now my staff gone. I came back with my groceries. I can't put my lights on. First of all, the groceries you shouldn't worry about. Anyway, I just can't believe it now.
They cut off my heat and help last week. I don't know how I'm supposed to buy groceries next month to keep the lights on.
Now, what about my diabetes? My diabetes, man, is acting up. Can't feel my foot, can't feel my feet, and I didn't even do.
Now my SNAP's gone, my Medicaid's gone.
Get out of here. This is what you voted for. You voted because you thought black people were going to get f***ed, didn't you? Black folks, especially black Americans, have been living with nothing for the longest time. So surviving is very, very easy. Very easy. You understand? That's why black folks are playing it smart. We're moving as a unit. You know, other than some of the sellout, but other than that, black people are moving in a way where we're not even being bothered. Oh my God. Oh my God, the country's in shambles. Oh, they're being unfair. Black folks are like, yo, man, I'm going to Costco. What you about to do? So, hey, man, it is what it is. You voted for your own demise, and that's just the way it goes.
The things that he promised he would do, in ways he said he would get rid of people, in ways he said he would take healthcare away and food from children. He is doing all of that and more. So saying that you voted for him just because of what he said and not because you were lied to is a little bit wild. But hey, I am glad you're awake now, and I am glad you're on the bright side, and I truly hope nothing but the best for you and your children.
The American flag stands for compassion, kindness, liberty, justice for all. We're all human, and today I'm asking for one human act of compassion to please let my dad come home.
Quick question, did you think that the American flag stood for compassion and kindness when you voted for who you voted for? Because let me show you something.
And the science and experience we've developed here will live on through you. On behalf of the board, the leadership team, and myself personally, thank you for your passion, your ideas, and your perseverance. Perhaps more importantly, while we assembled phenomenal individuals together as a team, we fostered an even more phenomenal culture together. While war in its current state will not continue, our culture will ensure so many of these relationships will continue going forward, both professionally and personally. Your work mattered, it still matters.
That was my CEO, shutting down our entire company, where that man has dedicated his life to science and treating cancer patients such as your father. And we had to stop. All of us got laid off because of your vote. So let me ask you another question. Would you still regret your vote if this didn't happen to you personally? Because I went back a couple of videos on your page to find out where was the outrage when this happened to a child, an American child that was deported mid-cancer treatment. And what I saw on your page was you being hot. I didn't see you being outraged. I didn't see you being upset. I didn't see you speaking up. So your cry is not really regret or remorse. Your cry is entitlement. You're crying because you're told no. You're crying because they denied you. Because if they had accepted your father to stay here, you wouldn't regret your vote. You would think that your president was still your hero. Because the outrage, the remorse, and the regret should have started months ago when this was happening to other people. When this was happening to thousands of other people that also have families, they also have children, they also have wives. You didn't care back then. Now you care.
Seeing people regret voting for Trump is so annoying to me. I thought it was going to be kind of satisfying because it's like, I told you so. We all told you. But it's infuriating because we did tell you. We've been telling you. You had him for 4 years. You didn't realize that it was probably not a good decision. He told you exactly what he was going to do. Professionals said, hey, this isn't going to be good. This is going to negatively impact you. And y'all didn't listen. You still voted for him. We had so many celebrities, so many influencers out here saying, hey, vote for Trump, da-da-da-da. And now they're all backpedaling. And it's only because it's affecting you now? You didn't care that all these other minorities were being affected, but now that it's affecting you, now you care. Well, lucky for you, we're all just screwed now. So, it's great.
Are you a farmer? If you're not a farmer, you don't have to pay attention. Since I'm in the financial world, every day I read the New York Times business section. Headline today, China bought $12.6 billion in U.S. soybeans last year. Now it's $0. Almost $13 billion versus zero. Farmers ain't going to be happy. Why did this happen? Yeah. Because of Trump's tariffs. That's exactly why it happened. There is no other reason. Okay, you might say, what about other countries of the world? Are they buying American soy?
Hello family, welcome back again to the channel. Now, some MAGA voters voted thinking that the political changes sweeping America will break the spirit of the black Americans, because they expected some anger to come from black people, they expected some fear, they expected black communities to panic, complain as usual, and even retreat. But something very different happened. Came the black silence, came the black excellence, and came the black resilience. And the biggest surprise was that millions of black Americans simply continue building their lives as usual. Because if history has taught black Americans anything, is this: you don't survive generations of adversity by just giving up. Black Americans have faced challenges that go far even beyond single election. These people have faced slavery, they have faced segregation, they have faced discrimination, they have faced economic exclusion, they have faced redlining, unequal access to education and opportunity. Yet generations after generations, they continue moving forward. Parents worked so that their children could better their lives. Communities built churches, they built schools, they built businesses, they built universities for their children, and they built professional networks. Black Americans also entered medicine. They entered law, they entered engineering, they entered education, they entered entertainment, they entered technology, they entered politics, they entered the military, and even entrepreneurship. They did not wait for America to become perfect before building their future. Instead, they built it anyway.
That's very frustrating to actually hear that. And like I said, I don't do the politics and stuff, but to hear that come from another American that, you know, is not getting $2 million put in their pocket. $2 billion. $2 billion, $2 million, $2 trillion, you know, that's a lot of money. You know, that's a lot of money, and that would help out a lot of people around here. A lot of homeless people. You could open shelters. You could really help somebody out with that.
Somebody's making money on the side. It's not me. That's all I got to say.
Is it frustrating?
It's frustrating that you see your president getting richer and richer, and the middle class is getting poor. And that's about it.
Life in America right now, the economy's tough. People are struggling, you know, and hopefully it'll change.
He definitely made lots of promises, and he made them seem like they were going to come a lot quicker, faster than they actually were to ever come or ever will come. Like 90% of all the elections in the past, you know, the candidates, they promised the moon and fall short at the end of the day. But I mean, I don't think it was the Donald Trump that we saw in 2016, and I don't think that...
Black Americans, we must never forget the era of the felon-in-chief, MAGA, and the Republicans. How the felon-in-chief made white people feel very comfortable in expressing their racism blatantly. And in fact, because of crowdfunding platforms like GoFundMe, many of them who have been censured by the public, like losing their jobs in their positions because of their racism, they know they can run over to these platforms and raise thousands of dollars, more money than they probably ever had before. That's what happened in the case of that racist white woman that worked at Cinnabon that was so racist to that Somali, calling them nigger and stating that she was racist. Yeah, she ran right over to GoFundMe and now has raised $75,000, probably even more at the time of this recording. The same with that white woman in the park that called that black child a chimpanzee. And racists set up a crowdfunding campaign for her and raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for her. But mark my words, the felon-in-chief won't be in power forever. And I know it already has felt like 1,000 years, but he won't, y'all. The Republicans won't be in power forever. I don't know what the United States of America will look like once their time ends, but I do know this, that they are already realizing that they have hitched their fortunes to a now sinking ship. And so you're going to see more of these racist MAGA Republicans try to rebrand, like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I personally believe that Marjorie Taylor Greene has her eyes set on the presidency. And so she is trying to rebrand herself as a more sympathetic, compassionate, racist and bigot. And she will not be alone. Now, in terms of the general public, many, not all, of course, but many white Americans who have become so comfortable with being blatantly racist showing who they really are, they're going to try to put the mask back on. All of these companies, when it is no longer profitable for them to be as racist as they have always been, the same companies that 5 years ago pledged support to the Black American community because of the Black Lives Matter movement that ignited over the lynching of George Floyd, almost every last one of those companies has reneged on those promises, which many of we Black Americans saw that coming. That's not a shock. But when it is no longer profitable for them to eliminate DEI and fire Black American employees, they're going to go on a PR campaign to rehabilitate their image unlike you've ever seen. Don't forget. Don't let anyone forget. Don't forget how trees in this country still bear strange fruit. Do not forget how police brutality continues in our communities. Do not forget all of the blatant racism that has been expressed towards us. Let's not forget those who stood with white supremacy, thinking that somehow proximity would get them grandfathered in. We, as we move forward, Black Americans must never forget. And even whenever this era is over, and all of a sudden, everyone tries to claim that they are allies and supporters of the Black American community, because I know it doesn't seem like it, but that time is going to come sooner or later. We must never forget.
Maybe someone can explain to me why it would matter if a content creator that you watch is MAGA or not. Don't watch somebody based on their political views. I watch them because I like their content.
People don't want to support creators who are making their lives more difficult and in some cases putting their lives at risk. I don't know how this is so hard to grasp. This topic is just so baffling to me because how is this hard to understand? If you are an immigrant or a child of an immigrant or related to an immigrant, or even if you're friends with an immigrant, why would they support you if you're trying to actively deport them? You're actively trying to remove them from their livelihoods. And as a creator, why would you want them to support you? You don't like them. If you are somebody who relied on the ACA for healthcare, why would they be entertained by somebody who wants to get rid of the ACA? There is nothing funny or entertaining about losing your healthcare coverage. Like, what is so funny about it? Imagine you're a woman who lives in a state that took away some of their rights. They're just supposed to look at a creator who supported that and be like, hee hee ha ha. Imagine you have friends or family in the military and they get shipped off to this unnecessary war and end up losing their life. What could a creator who supported this have that's so funny that's supposed to precede the life of this loved one? What is so entertaining that people are just supposed to magically forget the stuff that's happening in their everyday life? You know, it's really easy for an oppressor to enjoy entertainment from the people that they are oppressing, but that does not work the other way around. And it's really privileged of you to say this to people whose lives are being negatively affected. I am somebody who supports that every kid should have free school lunch, whether you're rich or poor, I don't care. Kids should not go hungry. And as a creator, if you disagree with that, I don't want you supporting me. I don't want you supporting my content. I don't want you following me. How is that so hard for you to understand? Even if you're somebody who's able to put yourself in other people's shoes, these MAGA creators are not funny or entertaining.
The world that we live in is so insane to me. I just drove to a coffee shop and on my way, stopped at a stoplight to get on the freeway. And I happened to just turn my head to the right and see a white older man in a truck, like 2 lanes over. And we make eye contact and he just starts flipping me off, like for a long time. And my first thought is like, did I cut him off? Was I in the way? But I know I wasn't because he's 2 lanes over. And I'm on the phone with my boyfriend and I was like, you know what? It's giving like ignorant old white man Trump supporter that's just mad a black woman is existing. And I kid you not, sure enough, this man drives off and he has a Trump 2024 sticker on the back of his car. This world is insane to me.
Where in the United States are Black Americans actually thriving right now? I'm Liz, the creator of POUP, Party Games Celebrating Black Experiences from College to the Workplace. This ranking actually looks at income, education, home ownership, and employment. Number 10 on the list goes to Ogden, Utah. Number 9 goes to Baltimore, Maryland. Number 8 goes to Raleigh, North Carolina. Number 7 goes to San Antonio, Texas. Number 6 goes to Oxnard, California. Number 5, no surprise here, goes to Atlanta, Georgia. Number 3, there's a tie, goes to Poughkeepsie, New York, and Provo, Utah. Number 2 goes to Austin, Texas. And number 1 goes to Chocolate City, Washington, D.C. This list comes from a lending tree analysis of U.S. Census Bureau data. Remember that the U.S. Census is only conducted once every 10 years, with the next one coming up in 2030. Stay tuned for more content celebrating Black experiences, and remember...
Coming from the Black community, literally, America is crumbling to pieces, and you have barely heard a peep from Black people. And I actually find it extremely surprising that people actually expect Black people to feel sorry or feel some type of sympathy for the downfall of America. After everything that America has put us through, do you really think that we're all in silence sitting back thinking about now we can fix this shit and we can bring things back to the way they were? No and no. We do not want things to go back to the way they were. And you know what's crazy? I think a lot of people mistake this silence that's coming from the Black community as a lack of awareness, as if maybe we don't know what's going on. You might see us dancing and having fun and playing around and shit still, and you might think, these niggas just don't take shit seriously. But I'll tell you what, at a certain point, niggas will stop dancing, niggas will stop singing, niggas will stop going along to get along. But we know.
Hey everybody, it's Rich here at Leaving MAGA at leavingmaga.org. So I got to thinking about people in MAGA after these support groups we've been doing, and I am not credentialed to make any kind of psychological assessment, but it is my belief that a lot of the vitriol that comes from people who are in MAGA, that it's actually a cry for help. Yes, it is true that those who have not supported Trump, or maybe they did, like myself, and no longer do, there's undoubtedly a lot of trauma that's been endured by them. But I would also argue that many in MAGA have also suffered from their own trauma and a various variety of trauma. And I think that being traumatized makes someone more susceptible to MAGA. You know, there will come a point when MAGA will fade away and we'll have millions and millions of people who will have nowhere to go. And that's why we founded our organization, so that way people do have a new community and a new place to go and a destination and an exit ramp. So while I'm not defending or justifying any of the invective that comes out of MAGA, I do think, given my own personal experiences and whatever small insights I can bring to this, that as hard as it might be to do this, and I know it's a big ask, having empathy, I believe, is still the best approach. And I'm not asking anyone to coddle anyone in MAGA, but I am asking to try to understand that many in MAGA have endured their own traumas, and I believe they've been exploited and manipulated by the predations of Trump and MAGA media and influencers. So I just wanted to bring you that Friday message. I hope all of you are doing well out there. As always, thank you for your support and appreciate you watching.
I want you to understand that Black women still rising and doing well currently in this economy is shocking to them. They don't understand how your hope has not been lost. First, they dangled the idea of a woman possibly who looks like you being in office, took that away. You rose again. They disproportionately fired Black women for their jobs, pushed them out even though they're their highest educated group. They wanted you to feel insecure, unstable. You rose anyway. Then they began talking about cutting of government assistance. And while not everyone benefits from that, others who do still doing their thing and making it happen. There are more Black women opening businesses than ever before because they have been pushed to be entrepreneurs now. They now have to be their own boss because you showed them as a boss you would mistreat them. Overall, everything this administration has done to specifically target Black women has not worked, and it will not work. And Black women will continue to prosper. That's just how it's gonna be forever and ever.
As a Black 26-year-old woman who works a full-time job and tries to work out consistently, be healthy, have somewhat of a social life, I have found it easier to do so since moving from Frisco, Prosper, just far north Dallas area, to Addison, and just do with that information what you will. I see a lot of people make certain videos, recommendations, or making comments under videos about where you should go, where you should move, and I just feel like I've had a better quality of life as a young 26-year-old professional living over here than I ever did. Young black, don't look at that part. Young Black professional quality of life here than I did back that way. So, like I said, do with that what you will.
Is this what you voted for, MAGA? Is this what you voted for? Why would you even want this job? Is your ego and your penis, are they that small that you feel that you have to harass people in order to feel like a man or to feel strong? Is this what you voted for? Is this what you voted for? Maybe it is, and if you did, then you're a cruel, heartless bastard. Clearly, what this administration is trying to get you to do is unlawful. It is inhumane. It is unpatriotic, and it is un-American, although by the minute it is becoming what America is. And maybe we have crossed that threshold, that thing that switches to the other side where this is what America is. You ICE goons and federal agents who are out there, you are common terrorists.
When political party changed, some people expected that Black Americans will collapse emotionally. But millions simply went to work. They went to school, they raised their children, they opened businesses, they bought homes, they created music, they built communities, they voted, they organized, and they continued pursuing excellence. That is the part that often gets overlooked by so many people, because resilience does not always make noise. Sometimes resilience looks like getting up every morning and continuing to build and do what you do every day without getting tired, without getting discouraged, but doing it with so much focus. And that is what Black people are. There are people who don't give up. So what lesson do other people learn from history? After emancipation, Black Americans created independent churches. They built schools. They created businesses. They created newspapers. They created organizations and communities despite enormous obstacles. During segregation, they developed institutions that provided education, that provided leadership, and even economic support and hope for the people. And during the civil rights era, ordinary people stood up against systems that seemed almost impossible to be changed. And after every setback, another generation continued with the work. They never gave up. That is called resilience. Not pretending everything is perfect, but making things perfect. Not ignoring even a minute or a second, but refusing to allow adversity determine a future that you want. There is something powerful about responding to doubt with achievements. If somebody expects you to fail, succeeding becomes your answers. If somebody expects you to become better, building becomes your answers. If somebody expects you to disappear, showing up becomes your answers always. So Black Americans have repeatedly demonstrated that resilience can become a form of strength. And excellence does not require permission. Excellence requires you and keeping up to do what you do better so that you can have what you want. Now, this does not mean that Black Americans are unaffected by the politics. Politics can have real consequences because economic changes can hurt communities, government decisions can create genuine concerns, and people have every right to criticize policies they believe are harmful to them. But resilience does not mean pretending problems don't exist. It means that facing those problems without surrendering your future. Now, maybe the biggest mistake is assuming that black Americans can be understood through one election, one political party, or one moment in history. Black Americans are not a monolith. They have different political beliefs, they have different economic circumstances, they have different religious beliefs, they have different hopes, they also have different opinion about Donald Trump and MAGA. There are so many black people, not so many, but some black people supporting MAGA, voted MAGA, and still defend MAGA. So not all of them differ with MAGA. Some of them love MAGA and they'll protect MAGA by all means. But there's one thing history has demonstrated: its ability to adapt. The elections can change, the president can change, the political party in power can change, but the determination to build a better future must remain. So the big surprise to these people is not that black Americans remain silent. The big surprise is that black Americans are silent. And in their silence, they kept working, they kept creating, they kept educating their children, they kept building businesses, they kept pursuing excellence, they kept surviving. And most importantly, they kept believing in themselves and their ancestors. Because black resilience was not invented yesterday. It was forged through generations of struggle. And when you've survived that much history, just one election is not enough to even break you. Instead, you get used to it, you enjoy it, you rebuild, and you keep moving forward. So guys, what do you think? Is resilience one of the greatest strengths of the black Americans? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And of course, if you're watching us for the first time, please subscribe. And if you believe that excellence is the best response to adversity, share this video with someone you love and you need him to hear the truth. Thanks so much.